Hello everyone and welcome to the 198th episode of the Poorly Planned Podcast. My name is Benedict. You may know me better as BHL Hudson. Here we talk about movies, TV shows, a bunch of nonsense. With me as always is my friend, host, Frederick.
You're fired!
I've been replaced.
God.
Well,
I didn't like it.
No,
I didn't like it.
It felt really uncomfortable actually. No, we've
Felt
defined our
terrible.
roles pretty well over the past 6 years or
I'm
so.
here to laugh and occasionally say things, and you're here to keep structure.
There you go, yeah. But as you can tell from that intro, today is a special episode because with the Poorly Planned Podcast reaching its conclusion soon, we're in the twilight, so to speak. We're in the
We're in the Robert Pattinson, if you will.
we are indeed. We have some loose ends to tie up, as we've mentioned before. And,
the loosest.
well, one could say the loosest of those ends would be the iconic Freddy's anime episode.
God. As we said just before we start recording, 198 episodes in the making.
Yeah, it's all been building to this. This is our end game here.
This is actually episode 200.
This is actually the last episode. Goodbye, everyone.
God, what a wet fart to end on.
That would actually go kind of crazy. I think either that or
That will kind of go crazy hard, bro.
either that or the It Chapter 2 pod being the final episode would have been great.
I watched just the first 2 minutes of that,
Yeah,
and I was already like, oh my God.
yeah. We were younger men.
Jack Black tangent.
Yeah, there was like no point or structure to that. Just a Jack Black
Like, there
reference.
must have been. I feel like we must have had like a few weeks where we were deep in the Jack Black canon events, but
I would hope so, but also I don't think anyone should be subjected to Jack Black canon events. I believe that's what they use to torture prisoners in Gitmo. But I don't mean to compare the episode you're about to hear to the It Chapter 2 pod, because this will be on a whole other level.
far worse.
Yeah, this will be way shittier, way less interesting. But as you know, we have been doing this pod for a while. That was not what I meant to say. That was such a nothing sentence. I know where I'm going with this. As you know, if you've listened to this for a while, we have, when we would do mini reviews, we would have our recurring segment brought to you by the co-host, Frederick.
Yours truly.
Which I believe you have a name for, perhaps, that you came up with.
I do believe it's Freddy's Anime Hour, if you will.
Ooh, yeah, no, I haven't heard those words in so long.
In a while. Haven't heard the intro in even longer.
Sends a tingle down my spine just thinking about those musical notes. But yeah, where during our mini reviews, you are an anime super fan, some could say. Some could call you a nerd. Maybe even a virgin.
Call me perhaps Geek Boy, if you will.
Yeah, just ramp up more and more. Perhaps fucking friendless and ugly. But you are an anime fan.
I would like to think so. I've watched a fair few in the last 3 or 4 years since I got into it, and it's just a good time.
It's a good time.
And I know I constantly talk about it. In the last few years we've been talking about it. You've ridiculed, but you've also accepted at times, and you've started, especially One Punch Man. You've watched a few episodes.
I watched about 4 episodes. I got 3 episodes into Death Note. Come on.
Of course.
Give me some creds.
So before anything, I'm gonna need you to cue the intro. God.
If
it doesn't happen now, it'll never happen.
On this occasion, I might have to. But so should we just very quickly before we dive in,
yes.
quickly establish for anyone who might not know, you're very much into anime. I am not very much into anime. Not against it, but we have had a running joke here that I kind of ridicule you for it, and that
you do tend to ridicule.
Maybe involved me cutting the intro off. Maybe involved me joking during your anime segments, etc. Which is like
You may also have edited the intro where on the final beat drop there might have been a fart noise.
That might be my favorite thing I've ever edited, which has led many commenters to say hashtag justice for Freddy, hashtag cue the intro, hashtag bring back the anime hour.
And it's about fucking time.
And so here we are for an actual hour, for an actual anime hour.
We'll see how long we can keep this thing alive.
We'll see how long we can last here. We're gonna do Freddy's anime hour.
God.
So there you go.
Weird that I'm getting goosebumps.
So I'm gonna just kind of hand it off to you and
well,
let you take the reins here.
I'm just gonna lay out a loose structure because I know you like your notes, and I was sitting. I said, I've done a little list here on my phone notes where when I was pooping, I was like, loose structure. I've got some top 10 anime of all time.
Oh,
I've got some mid anime. I've got some just general anime things.
Ooh.
I've got perhaps some recommendations to you that we'll get into.
No.
And then to round it all off, we got a little quiz / trivia thing.
Not a trivia
that
thing.
You'll partake in.
I have to be on the other end of the trivia discussion.
You really do. It's about time.
I'm ready for
I'd say I've done some good ones and I've done some bad ones. So
right. I will say
nice mix.
I have realized with the trivia that I've done lately, I have just only gone for like extremely shitty ones, and I was like the whole point was kind of just maybe do that occasionally. So like they were just all stupid.
Remember the last trivia we did was just one semi-interesting piece of trivia, and then just Jack Black had sex with a raccoon.
Yeah. A classic VHL joke.
Well, so I'm just gonna I don't know what order you want to do this in. Do you want to start with the top 10 anime of all time? Get a little discussion going on both of them?
I think
each of them?
I think we go top 10 starting at number 10. starting at number 6.
10? Starting number 4, going to 9?
I say we get into it.
All right. Let's do it. God, I feel so nervous for some reason.
This is your fucking moment to shine. Don't blow it.
I'm about to tell you all the things I love, and you're about to shit on every single one of them.
You know, I'll even be respectful this episode. That's part of the deal.
No,
for some of it. I mean, maybe for the first 10
we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Okay. Well, we'll start at number 10, and I believe a lot of these I will already have mentioned on the pod before. So we might gloss over a few, and you might recognize some of the names, but in number 10, a classic. I'm going to hit you with Food Wars. Are you familiar?
Wars. From what you've mentioned, I believe you described how the food is delicious. That's kind of the end of my knowledge.
Okay, yeah. So that is true.
Okay.
It's that's it. We move on. No, it's a cooking show, but a cooking show with a twist where a lot of times when the food is so delicious, the characters have what you could describe as a foodgasm, in which most of the clothes is ripped off, and there's an orgasmic feeling when tasting said food.
Okay.
I see the interest slowly growing.
You see me lean forward and put my head in my hands.
Food and orgasms, you say?
Now you're speaking my language. Huh.
My two favorite things.
Interesting.
Exactly.
Is this what some people would call a hentai?
It is not.
Okay.
It is what some people would describe as an ecchi, if I use that term correctly.
Ecchi.
Which is, an over-sexualized anime. But
This is your list of top 10 ecchis? That's the only thing on the list?
number 1, How I Did My Papa.
Genuinely, I wouldn't be surprised if there's an actual anime called that. And that you were a big fan of it.
Huge fan of that one.
Huh.
But honestly, yeah, I unironically love the show because it's got some really good, for food stuff, really good, action when the cooking's happening. Great storyline. But then it does have its goofy, silly, sexualized moments that, I won't complain.
The biggest perv.
I ain't hating. And it's, I haven't seen the latest season because I feel like it ended, in the 4th season, it ended in a very, very good way that I could very much get behind. Super epic. Actually, one of the most goosebump moments I've ever had in anime, which is again sad for a cooking show that has naked people in it.
Right.
But a big recommend. We'll get into the proper recommendations I have for you later, though.
Okay. I mean,
because
food.
I don't know if Food Wars is the one for you. All right, next one. Not the best segue here for number 9. It's everyone in the comments, please comment your top 10 and also what you think of these ones. But the segue here is not the best leading to, because I know we've talked about this one, and you have ridiculed this one before.
Oh boy, let's go.
For number 9, we do in fact have Rent a Girlfriend.
Fucking Rent a Girlfriend. I believe subtitled The FDK Story.
An FDK saga, if you will.
Rent a Girlfriend. Yes, I you've mentioned it before. You're a fan.
Mm-hmm. I am a big fan.
I've known that our mutual anime associate Lele is not a big fan, but
yeah, he might look at that and say, that's too tame for me. I need some hentai in my life.
Yeah, maybe. But what makes it a number 9 entry?
A number 9. It's one of those slice of life ones where it's so good. It's got some comedy in it, and it's got heart. It's goofy. Overall, the story, I haven't seen it in a while, so I can't do it much justice in describing it here. But it's just an overall good time. It's got some like romance that you're very, very, very like invested in, and the payoff at the end is both tragic, but then there's a second season that I've yet to see, but it's so good.
Damn.
It is kind of like, it's like a comedy, it's a rom-com, if you will, in the anime realm, and it's
and this
not much to say, it's just great.
This romance is with the said rented girlfriend,
said rented girlfriend, and there might even be multiple rented girlfriends in this.
What?
And jealousy might spark between the rented girlfriends over the guy who's renting them. God, it sounds so prostitutionalized.
Yeah, a little bit. But I can see the drama, the tendrils of drama. Mm-hmm. You know,
you can feel it. You can feel it. Yeah, we're just gonna move swiftly on to number 8, which is in fact, I don't know if you've heard of this one, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Of course, I've heard of that's like the most famous one, kind of, maybe.
That's kind of like the OG, kind of, maybe, perhaps.
Full Metal Alchemist, yeah, that's it's on a lot of, I was looking at some, for my own nefarious needs, some like best television shows of all time lists, and I don't know if it was specifically Brotherhood or if there is another version even, but I do remember seeing Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, there's like the same version, but they didn't fully finish it, and then they remade it into Brotherhood, which is the one.
Yeah. But I've heard good things.
Yeah. It is, again, that will be on the list of recommended ones I've got for you, because it's a very easy one to get into, but it's also got a great storyline, a lot of heart, a lot of action, and a very, very cool world overall. Got like, it's a pair of brothers who are what are known as alchemists in this world, which is not just, turning shit into gold. They've got like all sorts of magical things. And when they were young, they tried, like, their mom, I believe she died or something, and then they tried to like bring her back to life using some alchemy, but then the arm of one of the brothers got taken away in this, like, there's a weird freak accident that happened, and the body of the other brother was completely like wiped away, and only his soul remained, which then is like in a hollow shell of armor, which is like walking around, and it's basically them trying to get his body back whilst also, helping the Citadel with various things that are going on. Oh, okay. And it's very, very good.
Very cool.
Yeah,
and when you say the world is very cool, is that just like the general sort of magic, like alchemy, souls, and robot bodies type vibe?
All of it. And there's some very, very dark moments as well. So it's not just a walk in the park, this one. It's got some serious kind of like downer episodes that really add to the finale of it all.
Okay, I'm here for that. It can't all just be food wars.
You love it. It can't all be food and orgasms. So yeah, I definitely think that is one that you would very much enjoy. Next, we've got one that I also think that actually I know since you've given me merchandise for it.
Oh goodness, I'm a big fan of this one already.
We're gonna talk Haikyuu.
Of course. This might. Of course. Is this perhaps the one that started the Anime Hour vibes on the pod? I feel like this was one of the first that I don't. And maybe not the first, but it's one of the first I remember specifically.
It might be one of the first ones I openly talked about before I was.
I think, you know what?
Yeah, no.
I think
ashamed.
This was the first one that I heavily ridiculed, which is a great milestone to remember.
I don't remember what you said, but
I think I just laughed in a bullying manner when you said it's about
I think I just scoffed and called you a little bitch boy.
You said it was a volleyball epic something, but to be fair, it could be epic. I was scoffing in jest, kind of.
Well, you say that, and yet I cried for hours.
But then I made it up to you with said merch.
You did give me said merch, which, God, I love. What
fits like a glove.
You did give me the. It does not, but I still wear it.
Fits like a very fucking tight glove, right up the crevices.
It's like a glove made of lingerie. God damn. No, it's yeah. You gave me a pair of shorts and a top for it.
Yeah,
I mean, and some top.
That was a weird way of phrasing it. I would just said a high-Q outfit. You gave me some shorts and a top. Makes it sound even more lingerie related. I gave you
a nice mini skirt.
I gave you a high-Q thong.
Yeah, and we try not to get too mushy, and it's not really a mushy thing, but this anime is kind of one that didn't change my life, but it did change some of my interests, because that is really what got me into playing volleyball. And as we've talked about in the pod in the past, I have been a man who's played volleyball for the last 3 years here at university. And that all started with this anime because of how cool they made it look. And the sport itself turned out to be equally as cool. So just had a lot, made a lot of friends, made a lot of good memories and cool moments in my life because I watched this anime. So it's got a little special place in the heart, if you will.
That's actually
so laugh all you want, asshole.
I actually didn't know that. I thought that you maybe watched it because you played volleyball. I didn't know it was the
opposite.
Damn. Yeah. Well, now I do feel kind of bad for mocking it. But
how I opened up to you on the podcast.
Yeah, you were 1 second away from revealing that heartfelt story. You're like, yeah, I made some. I just go.
What a loser!
Yeah, here's this outfit, dork.
Yeah, that outfit was definitely given to me just to ridicule.
Yeah, but no, that's really sweet. Yeah.
That's cute, is what that is.
I'm sorry, but I was just I was being such an asshole, and then you pivoted into this really sweet thing, and now I just feel like a huge dickhead. So, and it's a really sweet story.
I made that story seem a lot sweeter than it was. I just wanted to make sure it sounded sweet so that you'd feel terrible.
I do. But no, Haikyuu, go to Cho. Surprised it's only number 7.
Yeah, I was considering putting it higher. This might also just be a slight recency bias, in fairness, because I have, looking at this list, I think if I'd seen it more recently than others, it would definitely be higher.
Sure.
But from going from Haikyuu up, a lot of these could be interchangeable, I will say.
Okay. All right.
Moving on to the next one. You got one. Again, you know of it. It's Attack on Titan.
Oh, of course. I have seen the pilot of this.
I have seen the pilot and immediately stopped watching.
Well, I saw the pilot when I was very young, and it did scare me intensely. I was 12.
It is fair. In fairness, it is a bit of a fucked up pilot. Fucked up introduction to the whole world. Yeah, this one, we talked about how much it actually blue balls you because it just, for the last 3 years, they said, Attack on Titan, final season coming out. And then each time a part of that final season will come out, you're like, oh my God, how are they going to wrap this up? And then they do not, and they, make you wait another year. But I've got good news.
Oh.
And I can't confirm if it's another blue balling, but supposedly the very final chapter came out a few days ago.
Ooh. See, I've heard you say these words before, so I don't
know
if they can
exactly.
be trusted.
But. You can't trust the words I'm saying right now. But supposedly, the very, very last chapter came out a few days ago, and I'm very excited to watch it. In terms of the anime overall, very, very cool. It's humanity against titans, and then that's the first 2 or 3 seasons where it's a lot of good action. Humans are trapped inside walls. Titans are trying to get in. There's obviously drama. And then it just does a full 180 and turns into this insanely convoluted, deep, and just dramatic, almost like World War II-esque kind of situation with racism and euthanasia and all sorts of stuff, like mass genocide. It goes from being a cool action thing to just being very existential and depressing, really, but also still very, very epic.
I was not ready for that.
I don't know. I kind of prefer Food Wars right now.
For all the Attack on Titan lore, for all the Attack on Titan racism that I was not aware of. Damn. Okay, fair enough. I mean, it sounds pretty. I mean, so I'd say it sounds pretty epic, not the racism. Like
talking about the racism. I don't know. Sounds kind of fucking dope.
No, God, no. The general.
By any chance, is there elderly deaths in this show?
My ears prick up like a dog's.
I see a slight boner.
The words elderly death? God.
So what is your kink? The elderly being in trouble.
But that does sound like a... I mean, because I had no idea about that. That does sound like a interesting like escalation of everything from...
No, because it's something you would... And like the way it ties everything together. Because like, there's like small little hints going throughout the first 3 seasons, right? Where it's like something isn't quite adding up, but you're like, oh, that might just be me not really fully getting the story or something. And then something like in the very first episode is tied back in like the end of season 4 or 5. And you're like, oh my God, this is actually insane. Like everything, none of this has been happening like by chance. It's all been, and I'm not just like, that's not just me saying that. There is things that actually were just pre-planned from the entire, like the very beginning.
Damn.
Within the story. And it's so good. Anyone who's seen will know what I'm talking about. And I definitely, again, I recommend, especially to get to the payoff of this final season. I think you would very much enjoy. I think it would blow your mind. Moving on, we got just one that I very much enjoy as well. Number 5 is Parasite.
Ooh.
The Korean 2019 movie?
I've seen that one. I don't think I've heard... Have you talked about this one before? I don't know
if I have. A very, very good show as well. Very action-based. It's like about kind of like an alien invasion, if you will, where these small little parasites basically bury into people's brains and just like take over their bodies, but then they can also kind of like morph their bodies into like, whatever they need, like weapons or something like that. And it's kind of like them trying to slowly take over the world. But then the protagonist is this guy who basically wakes up as one of these parasites is about to take him over. And then instead of going through his ear to like get to his brain, it goes through the arm. And he basically like ties like a rope or a cord around his arm and stops it from like going further up through his blood, which makes it only take over his left arm or right arm. I don't remember which one. And then it basically just lives there. And then it's this like kind of symbiosis that happens between the two of them and how they kind of like, need to navigate that of either
a Venom
being
situation
on the human
here.
side, a Venom-esque thing, if you will.
Right.
And it's very cool seeing this guy because like these like parasites are very like emotionless and like ruthless, but it's very cool seeing this guy have the abilities of these parasites, but still having like the human emotion for the most part of what most people would feel and seeing how that kind of develops. A very, very good show. Great action, great score as well in it. Listen to the music often. And just a great show. Not too much to say about it, really. We move on to number 4, sir.
Getting down to it.
Getting real here. We go, and this might be a bit of recency bias. I'm going to hit you with Hunter x Hunter or Hunter x Hunter.
Ooh, Hunter x Hunter.
Are you familiar?
Yeah, I do remember you talking about this. And you did seem taken by it.
I want to say excited. A great show. Quite long, but very, very cool. Some great villains, some great, like, very wholesome friendships in it as well. There's an overall great action, like, shonen.
What's the vibe? Is
show.
it like an action kind of thing, or?
It's an action kind of thing, but it's about this little guy called Gon, who wants to train to be a hunter, who's basically like a very like highly trained, I guess like both assassin, hunter, just like overall very powerful dude, right? Who gets like free pass to pretty much do anything they want. Is really the best way I can describe it. And then
Okay.
that whole world, there's different arcs. Like there's an arc of him trying to find his dad. There's an arc of them trying to save the world from an invasion and stuff like that. Very wholesome friendships throughout and stuff like that. Yeah. Again, not too much to say really about like going into specifics because it's so big and broad, but it's just it's a good time and wholesome and epic and sad at times as well. So it's got everything.
Damn. That sounds, I mean, from also, I remember when you talked about it, like in putting in the picture for the pod, I looked it up and I saw, a couple different like screen grabs from it. And, it did look something kind of up my alley, but it looked kind of cool.
Are you just saying this to humor me?
Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. I haven't been listening for the past 20 minutes.
You've just been clocked out. You're doing Scrabble on your computer.
I'm over here on chess.com. No, but genuinely, I thought it did look pretty cool. So, yeah. That one is...
I mean, again, it's... I loved all of these, so I would obviously recommend all of them to you. It is quite long, though, so it's not going to be in the top recs I've got for you.
Sure.
Let's see here. Again, this one I love. Could be recency bias, but I don't think so, because I think it's actually just a very, very good anime.
It's coming in at number 3.
We're talking for third place, Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, well, that is... I mean, with the exception of maybe one other one, which I think will be one of the next 2, I think this is the one I've heard you talk about the most.
Exactly. It's
Jujutsu Kaisen have come out that face pretty often.
God, the amount of times I've had to listen to that Jujutsu Kaisen.
I had to learn how to fucking spell Jujutsu Kaisen to put it in the goddamn timecode description.
Every time you have to do your shitty fucking anime out.
Yeah, it just gets really bitter really soon.
You fucking hate it?
This is the worst idea I've ever had.
Jujutsu Kaisen is the reason the pod is ending?
Yeah. I have to listen to one more fucking second about it. No, yeah. Also, wasn't there was a movie recently, wasn't there? For Jujutsu Kaisen?
There was! God!
Yeah.
He's done his research.
Yeah. Just on chess.com still? Waffling? Yeah, wasn't
Professional... Wasn't this like a show or something? Professional filibuster? Whenever the president's in trouble, they call him in to stall?
Professional filibuster would be the saddest fucking job description I've ever heard. Sorry. God. Jujutsu Kaisen.
Jujutsu Kaisen, yes. So, this is probably the show I would most highly recommend to you as well. Because it is such an easy anime to like get into, because it's not, there are some animes where you think, I cannot figure out how to get into this. Whereas this one, it's like so different, like some of the animes I've watched are so different in culture and stuff, it becomes a little bit, again, in the best way possible, it does become a little bit absurd, some of the stuff you're watching at times. Whereas this one, it's the right level of something you're not used to, but at the same time, it's very easily like approachable and accessible for everyone. I think it's got good humor that's easy to follow for a dum-dum like yourself.
Right.
No, just like good humor, great action, some like good storyline, and some of the coolest characters there is. Like the main character is awesome, like the whole story with him, Itadori Yuji, and then they've got Gojo Satoru, who is one of the coolest anime characters of all time. This like blindfolded guy who is the most powerful sorcerer there is. As I said, the action's great, the animation's awesome. They've changed the animation from the first season to the second season. I still think it's pretty good. Some people are complaining about it, but I like it. And yeah, each episode of the new season is coming out every Thursday, and I'm just there ready for it every single time that it comes out.
Starving for it.
I'm just like I munch it up like I was in Food Wars.
So you would say that's like a good gateway anime for someone who
it's a very, very good gateway.
Like doesn't consume a lot of anime or like Japanese content in general.
Exactly.
It's a good way to like get into it, so my dumb Danish American mind can comprehend what is happening, and then I can move on to Haikyuu.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you can move on to Rent a Girlfriend.
Gosh. Okay. No, yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen. I would not be opposed to it at all. Some of these post recommendations. They might go on the famous list. Who's to say?
Oh, the famous never to be watched list.
I actually do have a list now, by the way. Crazy.
For 5 years.
Yeah. I've been lying through the fucking...
It was all a lie.
I've been lying to everyone's face, but now, believe me when I say, I have a list.
For some reason, I don't.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so definitely just such a great one. Then, and I was heavily debating this top 2.
Okay.
But I'm going to have to give second place to Naruto. This was...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go on.
I was going to say, I don't know how I forgot about Naruto, because I was thinking about what I assume your number 1 will be, and I forgot that Naruto, you are a massive fan.
A massive fan. Well, this, personally, was my gateway into anime. First one I watched, just was immediately hooked. There's 720 episodes. Watched them all in a summer.
Damn.
Such a great...
Watched them all.
Yeah, it was...
That was my first question was going to be, have you seen all the episodes?
Oh, yeah. Watched them all in, 2 months. It was desperately sad.
This was a couple months ago, actually.
I just finished it today. So. No, this is the very first anime I watched. I mean, proper, for me, Pokemon and stuff like that doesn't really count, because that's so worldwide, and I watched that dubbed and stuff like that, but...
Some normie trash, you're saying.
That ain't what I'm about, if you will.
Right, okay. Good.
No, so first anime I watched, so good. Fell in love with the characters, with the world, and just got, I don't think I've ever been as hooked as I was by that of any TV show ever. Just as you can tell by watching 720 episodes in 2 months. Just got into it very fast and absolutely loved it. It's great. The characters are great, and it's because of 720 episodes is a lot, but that also allows the story to really develop and unfold so many different arcs. And you really see the kind of development and growth of all the characters in a way that is just epic and wholesome and satisfying to watch throughout. And whilst it's not the saddest anime, there are really some moments in it that are incredibly sad. Which then make all the kind of redemption or revenge that come from these moments all the more epic. And just it is less of a... That's a lot of time when people are what's the favorite anime you that you've watched, which is a question I get asked on an hourly basis.
Of course, yeah. Middle of the Frisbee tournament, people are yelling it out.
It's I'm about to catch the winning disc, and they're yo, Naruto, yay or nay? No, and I'm it's probably, in terms of overall kind of world building and stuff like that, it's definitely this one. Damn. Because it's just so good.
And I mean, I wouldn't want to speak for your experience here, but I also, although we jest that it was a sad and troubled time, I imagine the summer where you watch it all is sort of also quite a nice kind of cozy memory.
It is a very cozy memory. And yeah, we jest it was a dark time. It wasn't. I was just incredibly lazy.
No, yeah, but
I believe that that summer it was watching that, and most of the time just hanging out with you. So pretty good.
What a summer, yeah. There are because I think a lot of people have either a series or a movie series or a video game or a book or something where I know I've done this with a couple of things where you just binge it for a period of time, and then it becomes sort of a memory in that way, that little part of your life you kind of associate with that in kind of a wholesome, sweet way. So that's the kind of the vibe I'm getting.
It is, well, that's the vibe. It was, so you're right on the money, sir, if you will. And then for the number 1 spot, do you have a guess as to what it is?
Would this be a show that translated into a film about a Mugen train, perhaps?
You would perhaps be wrong.
Oh. Ooh. Oh. I thought for sure
it hasn't even cracked the top
Slayer.
10.
What? I thought you loved Demon Slayer.
I really do, but I think that was more of a recency bias. No, I really do. Demon Slayer is awesome. It could have easily been in the top 10. I think I just needed to get Rent a Girlfriend in there.
Okay, fair. I must know it. How can I... Wait.
I saw you fucking itching to get those Mugen Train out of your lips there.
I still love the fucking phrase Mugen Train. Fuck, okay, hit me with it, and I'm going to hate myself for not having guessed it.
I'm going to hit you with Death Note.
Of course. Fucking hell. I've even seen fucking like the first season or whatever. What's wrong with me?
We even talked about it.
We did. No, you're the one who recommended. This is so. Sorry, the episode's ruined. Let's start over. This is. Let's do that bit again.
Rewind that shit.
I was so excited. I was like, man, I've got him here. What a Demon Slayer fanboy.
God,
Meanwhile,
I feel so
hasn't even
bad for not
crossed
putting
your mind.
Mugen Train. Fuck me. The thing is, I knew you were gonna talk about Demon Slayer being on there, and I was like, but Rent a Girlfriend.
But Food Wars. Okay, yeah, Death Note. You are a massive Death Note fan.
Exactly.
As I recall.
It is just, of all, like, not just anime, of all shows I've ever watched, I think it is the most captivated I've been, especially like the first 20 or so episodes. And I've talked about this on the pod quite a few times, but it is so intense and so intricate and well done, the way this game of cat and mouse that takes place. It's just so good. The music's great. The intensity's awesome. And it's a pretty old anime, I think. It's like 2006 or something started coming out. It's like the overall animation isn't actually, it's good, but it's not anything to be, astounded by. But that just speaks to how good the plot and writing of it actually is, because it doesn't actually rely on these like beautiful animations. It's all about what actually goes on in the show. And what goes on in the show is just so epic. You're gripped from like, I think like the first episode or two, they're great. It takes a little bit of time to like, establish the main characters and stuff like that. But then once it properly gets going, it is some of the best show or like television I've ever seen. Like it's so good.
Damn.
So whilst I think if I had to rewatch, or not rewatch, if I had to like watch one show for the rest of my life, I don't think it would be this one, because it's quite short, but the thing I watched, like the feeling I had watching it for the very first time, is unlike any show I've ever watched. It's so good.
Damn. Live action or anime?
It could be right up there, like first, second place of all time, both live action and anime.
That's a crazy endorsement, yeah. But you have consistently been a Death Note mega fan over the years.
But I will say, I am also a Mugen Train fan. I'm sorry.
Don't throw me a bone here. I don't deserve it.
I fucked up. I know it.
I gotta watch all of Jujutsu Kaisen now to make up for it. But
you truly do.
I should get back on Death Note though, because I did really like it. I was just I'm kind of bad at watching shows, but Death Note takes the number one spot. The number one anime fan.
You know it.
There we go. With Naruto in a close second. I think it should be second.
Exactly. Interchangeable sometimes, but for this one, I had to be stern with it.
Well, first of all, I'm glad we finally have a definitive FDK top 10 list that will be immortalized for all time, and you can never change now.
Never ever again.
And I'm also curious to hear what the anime fans in the comments, because we have a few of those in the audience, what they think of your list and how they would agree or disagree. But there you go.
Please let us know.
There's the top 10.
It's about to. Is it an FDK dub? FDK hate? DHL hates old people kind of moment.
Yeah. For once, I can't really get a dub or an L because I'm just.
I'm just existing.
Having my The Watcher arc right now, just observing.
Oh, God.
Sorry. Didn't
Currently
like
doing my Nightcrawler arc. So just before we get into the triviums, I just want to give you a little 5 or 6 recommendations that I think you would very much enjoy.
Please.
So we've talked Jujutsu Kaisen. We've talked Death Note.
Yep.
And Parasite is one I think you would also very much enjoy, the one I talked about.
Okay.
So those 3. Another one, if you're feeling for a more lighthearted kind of thing, one of the most feel-good animes I've ever watched, didn't quite crack the top 10, but it's very, very feel-good, is Spy X Family.
Oh, you have mentioned that before. Yes. And I do love a feel-good.
It is so feel-good, so, like, very funny. There's a bit of action, but the action is mainly based around the feel-good and comedy of it. It's, like, about a spy who then, like, for, like, a mission has to adopt a girl and get, like, a fake wife, and both the girl and the wife don't know about it, but then the wife turns out to be, like, an assassin. The girl turns out to be, she's got her own thing going on. And then all of them then start to, like, actually kind of fall into, like, this nice, funny, wholesome routine of being a family whilst they all have, like, their own agendas, It's very, very good. Another one, One Punch Man. You started watching it a bit.
Of course. I enjoyed it.
Easy to watch. You enjoyed easy to watch, not like the highest of stakes,
No, good fun.
but good fun, you know.
Good fun.
Also an easy kind of one to get into, I'd say. And then the last one is one called Re-Life. I don't know if you remember me talking about it.
I do. The name sounds familiar. Yes.
Yeah, which is it's got similar vibes to not really. I was gonna say similar vibes to Rent a Girlfriend. There are some aspects, but it's basically about a guy who feels like, I think he's in his late 20s or something. He feels he's kind of, wasted his life a little bit, kind of failed in most things. He's a bit of a failure, he feels. So then he gets this opportunity to basically not revert time, but like revert a lot of different things, which basically makes him go back to like the end of high school and basically just kind of like relive those like moments and like, but like in real time, and make any changes and like try and like turn his life around from the beginning, get a second chance, if you will.
That's pretty cool.
Some
premise.
wholesome, like, so it's a good romance and some wholesome moments.
Is this recommended to me specifically as a wink and a nod cautionary tale type vibe here?
It is basically, sir, it's not too late.
I think you'd really fucking love this show where this guy wastes his 20s and really regrets it. Just letting you know.
Just
right
letting
before
you know.
my 22nd birthday.
Yeah, for your birthday present, I hand you a DVD of it.
But no, that does sound pretty cool, actually, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, so those are the recs
Well, I will
that
say,
I have for you, sir.
I don't know, I see this as kind of related because in the past couple months or so, I have, at the start against my will, but later on, willingly, gotten quite into horror films, actually, more so than I've ever been in my life before, because, I've never been much of a horror guy. And then they've been, forced upon me, and I've actually found that I quite enjoy, again, I don't love, the scare factor, but like
The jump scare of it.
but the creativity and especially the stylized nature of a lot of horror films, I actually really fucking love, because that's some of the stuff that I love the most in any fiction, especially film. And the way it relates to this is I feel like anime, has a lot of that stylized, that, and the action, the visuals, the creatures, the whatnot, you know what I mean? It's a lot of that, and I feel like, especially in my new horror man arc, adjacent to my Nightcrawler arc.
Of course, you've got multiple arcs.
I do think the anime could get I don't know, could be a vibe.
Well,
We may come back in
I would be delighted.
2037, and I'll be the anime fanboy.
God, it's BHL's anime day.
It's PHL's anime Re-Life.
Deep cut.
Thank you.
Instant callback.
Instant callback. Yeah. I will say, just in terms of time here on the pod, I think we do, of course, the trivia's going to be epic.
Of course.
I don't know if we have time for too deep of a segment on this other thing, but I was thinking, could I ask you if you had a least favorite anime? If we could get the other side of the coin.
Yes. Yes, sir. So, again, as it is with most shows, there have been many animes I've started, which then I did not enjoy, and you did not finish, Sure. So, there's probably a bunch of those that I could say, but because I haven't fully seen them, I can't really, I won't say that's my least favorite because I've only seen a few episodes and I didn't enjoy them.
Sure.
In terms of animes, I've fully watched, whilst I didn't hate it, probably the least enjoyable one I've ever watched is one called Kengan Ashura, which I have talked about on the show, and in the moment, it's actually okay. It's basically like a fight, like bunch of fighters go in an arena and they fight, right? That's pretty much the premise of it.
I think,
and there's like there's some decently cool action, but like the overall story behind it, and yeah, it feels like a cheap knockoff of this like other fighting show called Baki. It's also an anime that I've not seen, but it overall just kind of mid. I don't know why I kept watching it looking back, because it is just kind of mid throughout. Just not the most enjoyable time. I won't lie to you.
Fair. All right.
Yeah, and there's been a few other ones like that I have started. Like a lot of the I think this might also be a Netflix one actually. There's a lot of the Netflix animes where they try to kind of like put a bit of a Western twist on it and try to be a lot more creative in their animation style. It just comes out kind of crap. So overall, it does not work. It does not work at all. So I'd say those are probably like in the Netflix ones are probably in the realm of my least favorite ones that I've either started to watch or finished.
Sure. What are they cooking over there at Netflix? What are they doing? Too mid to mention.
Too mid to remember. A lot of them, at least.
Fair.
Do we want to jump into the triviums, or
I think it might be trivium time. I think we've
okay.
covered the best, covered the mid. Now it's time for you to flex your trivia knowledge, and for me to be
well, it's time for you to flex your trivia knowledge.
Yeah, it's time for me to be embarrassed.
I've made this not super. We've got like 5 kind of multiple choice ones, and then we've got a segment of, is that a real anime title, or is it one that I've made up?
Okay, all right, okay. I'm actually very excited for this.
All right, so first normal trivia question. How many episodes does the longest running anime have? Ooh. The 4 options you get.
Okay.
3,400.
Okay.
2,646. 7,920. Or 6,732.
See, because I've talked to people about anime, and they've said a number, and I've gone, well, that's just insanity. But that could be any of those numbers.
Ridiculous.
All of those are ridiculous, in my opinion. Like One Piece or whatever, I think is a very many episodes. I'm gonna say it's either 6,000 or 3,000. I'm gonna say 6,000 and
6,000.
Yeah.
You'd be incorrect.
Fuck. What was it?
It was, in fact, the 7,920 episodes.
What the fuck? What show is that? How the fuck?
It is called Saisei Sun.
When could you
no clue
even
what it is.
watch that? Like, that's more
I don't
days
know. I think it's been running from like the 50s or 60s or some shit.
Jesus Christ. Okay, all right.
God, what are you even doing?
We're own one.
All right. What popular running style has been named after the anime in which it appears?
Oh, come on. Come on.
The One Punch Run?
It's what I do often. I smack the bouncer and then bolt.
The Naruto Run?
Ooh.
The Oh My God, What Are You Doing, Senpai Run?
Okay. Got it.
The One Piece Run.
Okay, all of these I exhibit on a daily basis.
Especially the third.
I do believe I'm familiar, and I hate to expose
and partake.
I hate to expose you like this, but I feel like I've probably even seen you do it. The Naruto run itself.
You'd be correct, sir.
I would be correct. 1-1. Okay.
God.
All right. Comeback season.
1-1. All right. What is the pornographic version of anime called?
Okay. All right.
We got hentai. We got ecchi. We got sentai. We got BHL's Mother's Home Cooked Video Catalog.
You absolute bastard. I will get you for this. I mean, I do think it's good that you mentioned what ecchi is, because I feel like you've said that word before and I might have been confused. But I do, in popular culture...
I realized as we were talking throughout this episode, I was like, fuck, I've given one of these away.
In popular culture, the word hentai has traditionally been... my interpretation has been associated.
It is also the correct answer,
yes,
sir.
let's go.
Let's go. He's 2-1. All right, next we got... What is the highest grossing anime franchise of all time?
Ooh.
Is it A, Naruto? Is it B, Pokemon? Is it C, Dragon Ball? Or is it D, Rent-A-Girlfriend?
Well, I do see everyone out here with their Rent-A-Girlfriend merch, so that's a dead giveaway. It's got to be Pokemon. There's no way it's not Pokemon. I'll eat my fucking dick if it's not Pokemon.
Well, munch up, sir.
No way.
No, it is Pokemon.
Yeah, let's go.
I saw the genuine fear. No,
I was going to do it.
He was mid-process of removing his rib.
Yeah, I'm actually, and I can't be held to this, but I was looking at something the other day about like the highest grossing franchise, whatever. I'm pretty sure Pokemon might be like the first or second highest grossing like media franchise of anything ever. Like,
could definitely be
from merch and toys and the shows and stuff. Yeah. So there you go. Okay, 3-1. Hey yo, this is going all right.
3-1. Not bad. 5. What anime show has the highest average budget per episode? Is it Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, Dragon Ball Super, or One Piece?
Okay, well, I don't think it's One Piece because they made like 50 billion episodes. And I don't think it's... You have said Demon Slayer is pretty extravagant, and they did make a movie, but... what was the first one again?
Attack on Titan is the first one.
Yeah, it's got to be Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan, is that the one you're going for?
It is.
You would be wrong! Fuck! It is, in fact, the sneaky option number C, Dragon Ball Super.
They got me there.
With an average of 170,000 pounds per episode.
That's too many pounds.
That's so many pounds. All right, we now move on to the second part of the section.
Okay.
I've got 12, 13 anime titles, and I want you to tell me if they are, in fact, a real anime title.
Okay.
Or if it is one that has come up from the depths of my mind.
Okay.
So, we've got the very first one. I Want to Eat Your Pancreas.
That's a real one.
It is a real one.
Yes, I think you've talked about it before, actually, yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
The pancreas specifically, yes.
All right.
I'm genuinely stressed here.
Huge beads of sweat are just pouring off him. All right. The Bunny Girl and the Astronaut.
That sounds like an FTK original.
Ooh, you sure?
I think so. I think I'm going to lock it in.
Your locking is correct!
Yes, let's go! Ah, yes.
Next one. Tufa Lula Girls Spring Adventure.
Ooh, that's...
Ooh, he's thinking.
I'm gonna say that's an FDK Ridge.
You're correct!
Yes! I thought you were trying to throw me off with the Spring Adventure, because that does sound very official, but then I was like, I don't know, he might be that smart. So I had to...
Okay.
Oof, okay, let's go.
Let's go. All right, we got next. Butt Attack Punisher Girl.
Is this just like your search history that you're reading to me? Look, okay, my thought process right now is like, imagining you making this list, you would probably go with a real one now, but also Butt Attack Punisher Girl doesn't really... But also, maybe that's too obvious for you to make up, because that is so silly. So it almost has to be real. Butt Attack Punisher Girl. What the fuck even would that show be? This has really broken my brain here. Nah, it's real. There's no way you made that up. That has to be real.
It's real!
Yes! Oh, thank
God, you're doing so... I hate how good you always do in these trivia.
Yes. I'm in your head, man. I'm sorry.
Next we got Water Bending with Sensei.
A class you unironically take? That's a Freddy. That's an FDK.
What the fuck?
Hey, let's go! Let's go!
God.
He can't be stopped.
Fuck. Okay.
These are, can I just say, despite my amazing ability here, these are very well done. I am having to consider things here.
Okay. Next we've got... Is it wrong to try pick up girls in a dungeon?
That's real. That's gotta be real.
It is real.
Yes! Of course it's real. Again, what the fuck are these shows, man? What happens in these shows?
I've got no clue.
You know what? I do think you have yourself to blame here for my ability here, because you've told me about so many that you've watched over the years that, like, I have a sense for... Like, you could definitely come on the pod and be like, so this week I've just fucking binge-watched Is It Wrong to Pick Up Women in Dungeons or whatever the fuck? And I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. That figures.
Okay. Next we've got I Want to Punch Your Balls Sensei.
That's you.
Correct.
want to punch your balls, Sensei. That is such an FDK line.
All right. All right. Next. All right. All right. Life with a normal dad who's secretly a spy.
I'm gonna say that's a Freddy original as well.
Fuck you!
Yes.
God damn it!
It's too good.
How are you? Are you in my notes or something? Have I accidentally shared this notes pad with you?
Man.
Okay.
That's also just the FDK story.
You're such an idiot. Alright, next we've got the maid I hired recently is mysterious.
That's real. Let's go. Let's go.
If you get 100%, I will.
We end the pod now.
Okay. Life with an ordinary guy who reincarnated into a total fantasy knockout.
That has to be real.
You son of a
Yes. Let's go.
You bastard.
I'm sorry. There's no way you're coming up with the phrase "a total knockout." That's not a Freddy thing to say.
All right. Next, we've got dancing vegetables.
This is the toughest one so far. It's too simple to decipher. Dancing vegetables. Ooh, I don't know about this one actually. Let's say it's real.
Yes!
No!
I got you!
No!
You fool!
No!
I just made it up!
No!
The perfect
crime.
The
Dancing
perfect crime has been
vegetables.
committed.
Damn it.
Thank
I
God.
should've
Okay.
known.
I can rest easy.
You can sleep tonight.
Again, can I just say, all the ones I've made here, they might actually be anime. Who knows?
They could be. I mean, I do expect to watch, I don't know, I can't even remember what fucking nonsense there was there.
Alright. This next one, I chose it. It's maybe not the most... Ooh, or did I choose it, or did I make it? It's not spelt the way it sounds, but... The Adventures of Bussy-chan.
Okay. It's not spelt the way it sounds. Yeah, I think that one might be real, and I might have to watch it. You know.
Well, that'd be tough because it's made up.
No.
Yes.
You reverse psychology'd me.
Let's go. Fuck. I did write Bussy with a B-U-Z-I. The next one. Oni-chan forgot the milk.
You made that up.
I did make it.
Yes. There we go.
Okay.
I'm
Got two more.
Back on track.
Got two more.
Okay, I'm gonna finish strong.
And I'm gonna give you both of them.
Okay.
And then you just tell me which one is real, which one's fake.
Okay.
All right. First one. Samurai pizza cats.
Okay.
Second one. Help, I was showering and BHL Hudson barged in frantically. A love story.
A toughie. Because that second one does sound, dare I say, plausible. I'm gonna have to go with the BHL barges in the shower and is lovelier. That's the real one. I'm sorry.
You'd have to be correct.
Let's go. I fucking love that show.
But yes, those are the triviums. Goddamn, you did
Damn.
disturbingly well. You fool.
I take my crown, as I should, but I will say also a crown to you because those were well designed triviums. And I will say again, kind of puts my triviums to shame where I realize that I've just written nonsense as you actually tried to like fool me in some way. So I appreciate that, and I feel like If we kept the pod going, that would be the vibe we go for from now on. But well triviumed to you.
Thank you. Although a backhanded compliment, because, as you say, I try to trick you, and yet I cannot.
And yet I am the king.
And yet your crown is bigger.
Also, what was the last one? The actual real one? Samurai Pizza Cat?
Yeah.
Bro, what the okay, some of these I need to know what the fuck what happens in some of these. But yeah, well, there you go. I do believe.
There you go. That felt so weird.
That was a Freddy's Anime Hour. For real.
For real this time.
But for an actual hour, as people have requested for a long time. I can't believe
that intro better fucking be that.
Yeah, I mean, so actually that would be the ultimate hilarity if I don't throw the intro in. God. But yeah, well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed Freddy's Anime Hour. Thank you for hosting said hour.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you for allowing me to host said hour.
It will never happen again, literally.
But for real, though, because the show is gone.
Yeah, you had one chance because it's the end. Well, that was wonderful. With all that said, it is now time for...
The Cnews.
Now, we have here an article from Yahoo. And this is Scientology related. But you know what? The show's ending, so why not? Why not just risk it? We've tried to avoid this in general, because I don't know. Maybe Scientology kind of scares one of us or something. I don't know. Who knows? Like, maybe I've read something about how they murdered someone's dog allegedly, and maybe that put me off wanting to talk about it. Who knows? A lot of reasons.
Who knows?
Could be.
Never know.
Anyway, Yahoo.com. Tom Cruise's dramatic outing shows exactly where he stands with Scientology.
Is this a diss on Scientology, though?
Well, because remember there was a thing that, like, maybe he's out of Scientology?
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
We'll see. Within recent months, many have wondered if Tom Cruise is still the golden boy of Scientology, especially after sources claimed he stopped visiting the UK Scientology headquarters in person for 3 years. Some even allege that he may have given up the controversial church to form a bond with his reportedly estranged daughter. However, he was pictured doing something that proves exactly where he stands with Scientology. What the fuck? God. Despite rumors, Cruise was seen entering the Church of Scientology, blah, 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 in Sussex in a helicopter. What? He entered the church in a helicopter?
He flies into the
What the fuck? Not only that, but he was seen entering the church HQ with a slew of protesters below him, holding signs that read things like, "When was the last time you saw your family? They love you and so do we." So, see, that's the thing about, I mean, you know, as we mentioned at the top, don't talk too much about Scientology because I have not done my due diligence, so I don't really know. I know, like, the pop culture, like, the jokes that are, you know, like Family Guy and South Park and, like, the sort of the Scientology meme.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they've really done, what their vibe is, what people are mad about, etc. I get the vibe. Yeah. It's probably not great, but also... Maybe we shouldn't talk about that too.
Maybe we might get our dog shot.
I read some article about that when we did some Scientology.
We're going to come home and our dog's head is going to be underneath our pillow, mafia style.
I don't know. I was just like, I'm not trying to get sued. I'm not trying to get dog murdered allegedly. If that was a thing, I don't know. If I read a thing, I don't know. It's alleged. Anyway, but
I don't know what I know, but I don't know.
It seems like those protesters are trying to communicate, I guess, to members of the Church of Scientology that are in their family, maybe, and they're like, come back because the church it's not good for you or something. Anyway, apparently Cruise is still in that, so...
Okay, well, not ideal.
Not ideal. Or maybe it is ideal. Please don't.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I was thinking about joining with my dog.
No, we can't. I know we're crashing the pod, but we can't end it with the... We've been so careful to not have our dogs murdered, allegedly. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to move swiftly on, and hopefully the Cnews from now on will not be that related. We'll do more Cruise funny plane man stories.
Well, this one was a bit of a funny plane man.
I guess
he flew into the church.
Yeah, I imagined the scene from the end of Shrek when the dragon crashes into the wedding, but just with Cruise in a helicopter, just flying through that window.
And then Cruise eats someone, like the dragon does.
Yeah, Cruise eats 20 protesters. Anyway, yeah, that's the news for this week. Not controversial at all. We're gonna move on to the announcements and such. Let's read some comments. Wait, actually, first, there are a couple of different announcements. First of all, on the Spotify, on the episode where we announced the end of the pod, Baxter White says no in the comments.
Is Baxter White falling off a building here?
Yeah, maybe. And username PP says, add a laugh track, please. So I don't know if that's like an ironic comment about like we laugh too much and he's being sarcastic, or he genuinely wants a laugh track, which is equally is more confusing.
Or is he being a dick saying we're not funny and we should add a laugh track?
That's true, actually. Yeah, I don't know. It seems bad either way, but anyway, thank you if it wasn't meant to be that way. And then on the email, NMS sent a message, and because it's on the email, I don't know if he wants me to publicly read it, so I won't, but he just said, some very nice, I'll send it to you, a very nice message about the pod, because it's ending, and he sent us an old piece of fan art that he made back in 2017.
2017?
When he was 12 years old. And so I'll send this over to you.
That's crazy.
It is a delightful throwback to the early days of the pod when we would remember we really kind of dropped off the fucking fan art train, didn't we? We used to have all kinds of stuff coming in, but it's just the Poorly Planned Podcast every other Friday, and a series of movie related pictures surrounding us, and Cruz in the corner, and just a picture of you doing a really questionable face. It's good stuff. I'll send it to you and put it in the pod. Great stuff. So thank you, NMS, for that, and for the nice message. And then the comments. Let's do this, because we have two things to do here. First of all, the It Chapter 2 pod that finally went up. Crazy.
God, yes.
Benders says they did it, skull emoji. And Daniel says they did. They finally did. ZJ says, I can't fucking believe it. Josie says, you crazy sons of bitches did it. God. Didn't know we'd get the most support we've ever had for this mid-ass fucking 2017 pod.
So is it actually mid, or is it just like...
it's fine.
I've not listened to the whole thing
It's
yet.
fine. It's exactly what we were doing back then, and arguably now. It is what it is,
Okay.
It's kind of
Okay.
It is, yeah. Movie Guy says, I haven't been as consistent with listening to the pods recently as I've been really busy with life, but literally yesterday I finally caught up and was devastated to hear the pod was going to end, and I should have known after knowing that the BHL channel came to an end. Never thought I'd see this day, as I genuinely had visions of me listening to the pod when I was in my mid-30s driving a car. I still remember the first episode dropping summer 2017, and I was at the airport, and since then, up until the summer, I never missed a pod the day it came out. Honestly, my favorite content on YouTube. I'm gonna miss this a lot, and it'll forever be in loop until I die, I guess. So a bit of a morbid ending there, but a very
morbid
very
ending,
sweet,
but also just overall
very,
super wholesome and sweet, and god damn it,
very sweet thought.
Getting me all choked up.
Thank you, Movie Guy, and yeah, we be getting choked up reading these comments. I'm saving the choked upness for the end, but yeah, we appreciate it very much. Summer 2017, man. And you know what? Who knows? Maybe we will be back in 10 years' time, and you'll be in your 30s driving the car, and who knows? Or maybe you'll be watching a B.H.L. Hudson directed movie and listening to an FDK marine biology podcast.
Ooh.
Josie says, after watching this, I genuinely thought this was one of my favorite episodes, especially the Jack Black joke at the start. Also, your voices didn't sound much different compared to now. I gotta say, after months of asking for it, this was definitely worth the wait. I'm gonna miss it. And Alafeld says, nah, I can tell the difference between the voices. Their voices are a bit deeper now. Josie says, yeah, a little bit. I thought Al was gonna say, nah, this was dog shit, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Didn't know Al was a fucking detective.
Yeah, Al's on to us. But thank you, Josie.
No, these guys definitely older.
I'm glad you enjoyed. Yeah, especially the epic Jack Black joke at the start.
God.
Daniel says,
Terrible.
another really great and enjoyable episode. Keep up the Pennywise-esque work. This episode totally lived up to the hype. The Jack Black joke at the beginning is gold. Classic 2019 Freddy. Man, I will miss this.
Let's go.
Hashtag McAvoy wants that bike bussy. Hashtag Jack Black was never 40. God. So it's also funny because I've had this locked away in my fucking computer forever, and I know this random Jack Black bit, and suddenly it's out there for the public to see.
It's a secret only you've known.
A classic 2019 Freddy moment. The Poorly Planned Podcast clip says, holy fucking shit, they finally did it. The perfect Halloween Eve surprise. This is the most I've been excited for an episode since Pod 150, and oh boy, you did not disappoint. This will surely be missed. I can't tell if this is ironic or this is... if people really did enjoy it this much, because I think it's just, like, fine, I guess.
I've never seen so much emotion in the comments. Holy fucking shit, they fucking did it, those crazy bastards.
It's Chapter 2 pod. But you know what? I'm really happy people enjoyed it. And you know what? I think there's something to, like, it being a throwback, you know, to older times. Anson says, let's go. Alpha says, God, listening to their old voices feels nostalgic. Back when BHL had a channel, they somehow acted even more like bumbling fools, and hearing them swear without the bleep sounds weird. But great episode as always, and great to finally hear this legendary pod. And Daniel says, it was indeed nostalgic. Yeah, I can imagine, you know, hearing the... It's kind of crazy, because, you know, for us, it's just us, but, like, for people who have listened to this over the years, hearing our voices be different from the past, it's kind of... It would be a bit nostalgic, I guess, but yeah. Also, I edited this a while ago, so I can't even remember that I didn't bleep stuff, but yeah. 2019 us uncensored. Crazy.
God. I didn't realize we were censored now, I won't lie. It's just, like...
We're not censored now.
I know it... But we were censored then.
Yeah. I stopped censoring like after pod 100 around there, I think.
Yeah, okay. I see. I thought he was saying weird to hear them uncensored in the Pennywise pod.
Yeah, but I think we are uncensored in that because I edited it recently.
So we're uncensored now, and in that.
Yes, because I edited it now.
Okay,
this does not matter as much as we're talking about it. Wait a minute. Did I say fuck in the Pennywise episode and you didn't censor it? You've just realized your digital footprint is real? Are they going to pull this up in your job interviews?
Sorry, did you say fuck, sir?
Connor Beer says, oh damn, they actually did it. The hype for this was bigger than Avengers Endgame, for real. Seriously though, this mini episode was another great listen. Keep up the good work, lads. Thank you, Connor Beer.
Thank you.
Shelf Enthusiast says, this is bigger than the release of the Snyder Cut. Hashtag BHL Peakson. Hashtag FTK Peaking. Hashtag Poorly Peaked Podcast. Hashtag It Chapter Mid. Daniel says, this is bigger than any release of anything. Josie says, second behind Morbius. So, good stuff, of course. Also, I don't know what the peak thing, is that either a reference to something we said in the pod, or are you saying like the pod is
peaking?
Peak? That's like a good thing, like the peak.
Yeah,
I'd hope so. The thing the kids say, like you're peaking. Like it's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thing the youths talk about.
Right. It's the opposite of mid. So I'm led to believe.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, you're getting it.
Thank you. Shelf Enthusiast. And NMS says, poorly planned podcast lore goes way back. Does it ever? You have no idea. It's crazy lore.
Truly.
Then we have the pod that we uploaded yesterday, actually, but we're going to get to the comments now, so I hope you got your comments in. If not, I apologize. Josie says, even if it's near the end of its run, I'm always happy to see a notification of a new episode. Aw, thank you, Josie. Logan says, an hour and 20-minute episode. Hell yeah. Thank you, Logan. Josie says, hearing you guys talk about the Kung Fu Panda game brought me back to one of my favorite earlier pods where you guys talked about your favorite video games, episode 31. Nowfeld says, I thought of that episode too when they talked about the DS game. Josie says, still can't get over up the game. Which I can't even, these throwbacks, because I haven't listened to these fucking pods in years. And so I guess we did, because we were like, oh my god, you played this game too? I guess we actually talked about it. So we had known this. But
this is not news to us, we just forget.
Also, up the game. A classic pod segment. Josie also says, I'm mentally preparing myself for the final 2 episodes. I know I'll shed a tear or two by the end of it. Hashtag I'm sorry for the bussy. Hashtag Buss in Boots, the final mega schlong. Hashtag Peak in Boots. Hashtag 5 nights at Fidalgard's. Hashtag the bussy always comes back. Hashtag it's just a bussy theory. Hashtag I am so immature. These are references to the 5 Nights at Freddy's film as well, which by the way I saw and it was ass. I don't know if we talked about it.
By the way, I saw.
Oh, was it not ass?
God, was it ass?
It was so ass, man. The fucking police are coming for me just because it was so ass.
The police are here because it was so ass.
Yeah. And did you catch are you a fan of Game Theory? Did you catch the Matt Pat cameo? The guy who's made all the videos about the FNAF movie. He was the waiter at this time. And he says it's just a theory because he does that in his YouTube videos. Imagine if BHL Hudson showed up in the next Avengers and I said, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. That was basically the vibe of the of the appearance.
So not a good vibe.
No, it's a really fucking scary vibe, actually.
The scariest part of that movie was Matt Pat showing up.
Alfeld says, one last characters we can beat up episode, one last DreamWorks episode, all we need is one last Versus episode. But one more question, and I don't want anyone to make jokes, looking at you, Freddy, but BHL, have you actually seen the live-action Pinocchio and the Del Toro Pinocchio? I will persuade you with this, the live-action one has Key, and Del Toro's has Waltz. I'll leave it at that. And Daniel says, we need
Why
that.
does he assume I'll make jokes?
I have not seen either of them, although I would be down to watch the Del Toro one, because I have it as very good. And in terms, we don't have a Versus episode coming up, but if I remember correctly, we might do a Versus segment in Pod 200. That or another characters we could beat up episode. But unfortunately, there is not a Versus specific thing coming. I'm sorry. We only have so many episodes we can do.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the comment. And the Pinocchio. Thanks for having my back with the Pinocchio thing. Freddy will not make jokes.
Of course.
The Poorly Planned Podcast clip says, I loved hearing those old sayings. Can't wait to hear the ultimate one. He's definitely bigger in a later episode. And we all know what Freddy means by brownie time. Don't we, Freddy? All right, I don't want to get into any of that. He's definitely bigger. I mean, in the final episode, we might want to try to bring back some classic, pod catchphrases.
Talk about some clat. That honestly would be quite good.
What a joke. He's definitely bigger. Thwaites, gotta do it.
You know them. You know the ones.
Daniel says, oh boy, Daniel got a big one here, and I think it's about YouTube boxing, so this will be controversial, because he usually comes for us, in the YouTube boxing space.
Yeah.
He's usually kind of pissed at what we said, so let's see. Another really great and enjoyable episode. Keep up the truly Poe-esque work, and there's so many different series coming to an end. What will I do? This is once again a great and funny episode. These DreamWorks episodes are some of my favorites, and you definitely ended it with a bang. But your opinion on the Prime card I find interesting. Yes, overall, the card was kind of...
You called it!
The card was kind of disappointing. The co-main event was pretty bad. The main event had its ups and downs, and a lot of the fights were just kind of okay. But there was some great fights. Dean the Great versus Waleed Sharks 2 was definitely the highlight of the night. I did call that out as a great fight. Slim versus Salt Poppy was a great fight. And it was pretty enjoyable. And the tag team match, where am I? And the tag team was really enjoyable. I did not see the tag team, but it's a thing they do now, where multiple people fight. It's not what you're thinking.
Don't say that and then give me the coyest smile.
It's just in the middle of the boxing event, Michael Buffer. And now, tag team.
No! Fuck each other!
Yeah. And now Slim and Salt Poppy will bang a person in front of you. God. Anyway, I did not see the tag team match. I'm sure it was great. In terms of how KSI acted when he lost, I do get. I get what you guys are saying, but when you put so many hours of hard work and dedication for months on end, do your absolute best in the fight, prove everybody wrong, and then thinking you won the fight, and I think he did win the fight, or most likely a draw, I can see why he was disappointed. No, it was not the most professional thing in the world, kicking the screen, kind of whining a bit, but a lot of fighters do that as well, such as Conor McGregor. There's been so many times he didn't win a fight, and then sat there and said he won the fight, or made some kind of excuse. I also think it was kind of shitty of Misfits to immediately interview him after he lost and thought he won. He's handled it much better now, in a much more professional way, and I could definitely see Tommy Fury, if he would have lost, being the same way. Hashtag Swarms is the GOAT. Hashtag Little Boy Moment. Hashtag Puss in the Bus. Hashtag BHL is a pastor. Hashtag KSIW. Hashtag Freddy is Legolas. Sorry, I couldn't get past Puss in the Bus. Another event on Misfits Boxing. And now, fair enough. I mean, yeah, I don't really want to... We're kind of running out of time here. I don't really want to get all the way back into YouTube boxing stuff, but I have only seen a couple of clips, but he does seem to have handled himself better now. I will say interviewing fighters post-fight is kind of standard, so even if they're upset, it's kind of what you do, you know what I mean? It's not... I don't think it's really an excuse.
Suck it up.
Well, I mean, but fair enough. I get what you're saying. Yeah. KSI, maybe we're a little too harsh on him. We do like to rag on the YouTube boxing. It is a bit of fun to do that, to be fair.
Yeah,
but I also
we must remember that we used to be huge mega fans of it.
And I still did watch the event, so
Yeah, exactly.
Who's really the mega fan? It's still me. I love it.
I haven't changed a bit.
ZJ says, honestly, one of the funniest pods in a minute. Random memory I have of watching Turbo when it came out. I was excited to watch it, but halfway through I got very bored. And it was one of the first times Kid me realized movies could suck. Also, I'll give you 2 pieces of trivia, 1 fake, 1 real. First, Marriage Story director Noah Baumbach wrote the script for Madagascar, Europe's Most Wanted. Or 2... or 2... Alec Baldwin threatened to shoot the voice actor of the kid after he kept fucking up his lines. Hashtag Puss in Boots, hashtag Logan Paul is ass, hashtag Misfits hugging match, hashtag Megaschlong, hashtag DreamWorks executions. So, I'm gonna guess that the Noah Baumbach Marriage Story one is true. Yeah, we do not, this was ZJ's comment, we don't endorse or condone Baldwin jokes. Super serious press conference. Daniel says, this is part 4, not part 6. What a joke. My bad. Is it really? Oh, shit. Whoops. Okay, I'll fix that, I guess. That's on me.
God, what a passive-aggressive comment.
Yeah.
You look genuinely hurt. Is it? Fuck, that's my bad, you guys.
Threw in what a joke to soften the blow a bit. Connor Beer, another brilliant episode from the lads. The pod ending may be sad, but these episodes always manage to cheer me up no matter how bad of a mood I'm in. I'm probably going to cry when listening to the last episode for real, though. Hashtag brownie time. Hashtag little boy moment. Thank you, Connor. I'm glad. Horrible hashtags, especially not with the context of the episode that they're on.
I'm probably going to cry. I'm probably going to cry at the end of the last episode. Hashtag brownie time.
Hashtag little boy moment. Horrible. Yeah, I just moved past that way too fast, then I realized what I just read. But thank you though, Connor, and I'm glad the pod can make you cheer you up no matter how bad of a mood you're in. That's our intention, to help out any bad days or just have fun in general. Cal W says, I wonder if 50 years from now there will be a legacy sequel to this pod with a CGI Freddy. And Josie says the CGI Freddy needs to sweat, so it might be a little hard to do it. Damn.
Am I dead?
Yes. In 50 years' time, you will be dead, and you will be, I believe it's a reference to Harold Ramis style in Ghostbusters Afterlife, brought back as a CGI ghost.
I was going to talk to you about this. How do you feel thoroughly triggered that Ghostbusters Afterlife 2 is coming out?
I do. That's why the pod is ending. I can't fucking fathom talking about a trailer for that. And finally, Anson says, yeah, Megamind is such a good film. It was really ahead of its time, both with its slight superhero movie meta-commentary way before that genre reached its apex, but also for making the villain an uncomfortably accurate depiction of a loser incel quote-unquote nice guy. It's also just super funny. Banger film. Megamind is a bit of a banger.
It is. It's good. I think I placed it 11th or something.
You had it somewhere up there. Well, with all that said, I hope you enjoyed this extra long episode of the Poorly Planned podcast. If it's the anime episode, we had to fill the time. The anime hour.
You know how we do it.
Flew by. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, drop a like.
It was a very, very fun time, honestly.
Subscribe, hit the bell button, leave a comment down below what you think of what we talked about. Freddy's top 10 list, Freddy's trivia, Freddy's least favorite mid one, and other things in general. What you thought of the episode. You can also find the podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Leave a 5-star rating, a nice review. You can leave a little comment on the Spotify in the Q&A section. Even though it's ending, you can still tell your friends about it. There's a catalog lying around, so if you want to recommend it.
It's not going to go anywhere. It's just not going to continue for now.
You can find me on YouTube, BHL Hudson, also a catalog of non-continuing stuff. Instagram, BHL_Hudson, where I haven't posted for about a year and a half. And Letterboxd at Real BHL Hudson, where I am unironically the most active by far. I genuinely
where I spend unironically 7 hours a day.
My main social media is Letterboxd, so that is a good place to see what I'm thinking about movies. And I'll just say, I was gonna say congratulations. That's not really the right word, but a good job on the anime episode. It's been hyped for a while, and I feel you did a great job with your list and with the trivia.
Well, I appreciate you saying it was fun to hosted. It's fun to finally get it out there, It's I'm standing up to my bully, if you will.
Yeah. And now I'm going to go back to the bullying. This was a one-time thing.
Ain't no books event today.
Books event. What a weirdly culturally specific Danish bullying reference. God. Books event, which I believe is when a bully would fill your pants with water.
You know what it is.
I think a friend told me it's when the bully puts your pants up to the sink and turns it on, and then you just sit there.
I've heard and read about this one.
Books event aside, a great app in my opinion.
Me too. I love doing it. It was a great time.
There you go.
I'm though annoyed that you're you're so good at getting the trivia, which is
That is what made it a great app. My triumph, my ultimate win. Giving you confidence and then shutting it down.
You already said where you can find you. True.
I did.
You can find me on Twitter, aka X, at FTK_DaltSniper. You can find me on Instagram at Fidalgard, Letterboxd at FTK_Films, and YouTube at FTK Space Gaming.
Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Rent a girlfriend.